Alright Aaron, how you doing? It's Wednesday the 9th of December 2020 and it's about 2:15 in the afternoon. Another perishingly cold day. Today is the first day in 3 weeks or so where I haven't woken up, just doing what you do for the first hour of life, having crawled out of your pit and then just bursting into tears. I don't know what it is about human biology and human psychology, but sometimes there is just no rhyme or reason to it. It's been so strange. I can actually time it. The game Call of Duty Cold War came out 3 weeks ago, and I've done what you'd usually do in 3 weeks. Convinced the whole time that I utterly hated the whole experience, but as a sort of automaton have just played the game, and today I feel a little bit better about life and wow, thoroughly enjoying it. We are such peculiar creatures, we really are, trying to fathom out what's good and what's bad in our head sometimes is near impossible. There's still a little bit of this sensation in me today, which I really want to talk to somebody on a professional level about, but all I want to do is be asleep. I just don't want to be conscious in this world as it is for me at this point in time. And as dark the sort of peripheral connotations could be with that, no, I've got more fight in me at the moment than I've had in a long time to just move forward, get sorted with housing for me and my daughter and start afresh. You know, I'm ready for what I hope is coming and what I'm really pushing hard to be coming. You know, I really want this more than anything, but life is just so it's dire in general. 4 days of my week are just dire, and I don't want anything to do with it. There's nothing that happens during my days that gives me any pleasure whatsoever. Fantastic little Christmas outfit that dog's wearing. I think I'm just getting a crash course in all of the bureaucracy and red tape and tedious dotting of I's and crossing of T's that the last decade has allowed me to avoid. And I'm not ready for it, not cut out for it either. I'm also plagued in my life by a lot of interpersonal situations that I can do nothing about for reasons that are far too complex to go into, where people are moaning that all the trees have gone whilst wielding a smoking chainsaw themselves. A lovely big pile of wood for winter. They've taken down their forest, but so has B home occupier, and there's no trees left, you know. And I am hit with situations that are as obvious as that in their hypocrisy and their lacking of self-awareness on a evening by evening basis. Every night I just think, here we go, here it comes. Sure as eggs is eggs, there it goes. Complete and utter lacking in self-awareness, bullshit express. I know a lot of us have to deal with all of this, but it's my turn right now. It's just coincided with a dark point in my life, you know. But it is the here and it is the now and it is the moment that we have, and I try to at least pretend there's some joy going on, you know, at any given moment. I have to get lost in something, and I've, as I say, over the last 3 weeks I've even found that difficult. You know, my big thing being gaming, just not doing anything for me. I'm finding myself becoming numb to all stimulus. Maybe it is my entirety saying to me, you know, all that crap you go on about being a completely solitary being, well, you're not, and nobody is. No man is an island. And it may just be a reaction to the best part of 15 months of solitude. You know, the interjections of my 3 days with my daughter a week, we talk a lot, and she's an intelligent girl, she really is, but it does not substitute adult conversation. Seems some kind of irony here. I've spent the best part of my adult life being so immature, giggling at farts and willies, you know, and now here I am talking about missing adult company. There are some serious ironies going on in my life right now. I guess I can safely say that in the last 2 years that have been a bit of a dent in my enjoyment, should we say. But I have tried hard, and do or do not, there is no try, some old rubbish that Yoda said in The Empire Strikes Back. And really everything that has come to pass that could be seen as a failure has been beyond my control. So I don't know, maybe I can find some time to live in my own space, find the strength to discover what and who I am, because that's the thing, I don't know who I am anymore. I'm certainly not the person I used to be. I am, you know, I think about this comparatively, and it's not all favourable, but I think it's about time sometimes when you're in a darker point in your life to look at the better aspects of you. And I am so much more of a kindly soul than the person some of you maybe were watching a decade plus ago. The core ethos of what and who I am was pretty sound, really. Well, not sound in the sense of being righteous, but I just mean I haven't changed that much. I've never really fed a lie or anything like that. But a beautiful little robin down there. Love seeing them. But I am so much more forgiving. Not of myself, that's changed. I used to be totally unforgiving towards everybody else and think that I was completely free of even being worthy of any criticism, and now I see it completely the other way around. And of course it has to find a balance. You know, everything in the world does this. You know, when you slam completely aligned seesaw, it finds, you know, violent swings in each direction, and eventually it finds its balance again. And I'm in the middle of my life's seesaw, having been slammed so hard into the ground. You know, the dents are so deep, and the flux is so the flux is just so strong, it's still vibrating out of control. And I may learn to like myself a little bit more one day. But you know, I think it's like seeing an interview with Freddie Mercury once. He said, I think people think that, you know, I'm a bit of a, it begins with the word C, and they think that I am like I am on stage at home, you know, and I'm quite boring, really. I'm nothing like that. I guess it's true of me in a lot of respects, the amount that I project the darker sides of life. People could see it as my entirety, and it isn't. Even to this day, I'm a very sad man, and I'm feeling very sorry for myself. You know, I'm going through a process of observing the battlefield and seeing just how wounded I am. But I'm certainly not the one-dimensional person that this video diary could project. I think a lot of people would probably understand that. I'm a lot more optimistic and happy at times, even to this moment. You know, the whole time with my daughter, there are moments where I find it extremely hard. Never once being in her company is hard, never that. But supplying the duties of what I'm employed to do, having been so carefree with my sexual organs about 10 years ago, my job one of the main criteria is to be a clown and to look after those needs of my daughters, you know. And I do have to fight against immensely strong demons to do that sometimes. But it's worth it. Even if it's a person that special, it is worth fighting past the entry gates of hell to steal that moment from them. Should I put it that way? I don't know. I'm thinking on my feet. I don't want to start getting too dramatic over what is essentially somebody saying somebody I have to fight to be happy. Like maybe something that could fairly be said about me is a bit of a drama queen. But you know, I'm struggling to find out who I am. I didn't even understand until recently that I was even broken. You know, I've been so depressed for such a long part of my life that it's become a norm. And, you know, then occasionally my mind will take me back to times where entire summers elapsed and there was nothing but joy. And I mean nothing but joy. Admittedly, that was at a time in my life before many of the darker things are even in your sphere of awareness, let alone physical realm, you know. But you know, things have been fantastic. When I think back to how my life felt back in 2010, you know, the mirror of this very day today, 10 years ago, I had a beautiful daughter on the way, lovely partner. Life was pretty good. Still fought my demons and suffered depression even through that time. You know, who's to say what caused it all in the first place? This is why I need to be, you know, going back 180 on this video and just thinking, you know, I do need to be talking. I know some people, close friends of mine, have said to me, you know, do you really think you ought to be letting out so much of your innermost, you know, from such a deep and dark place? And I say, yeah, I should. You know, it's got to go somewhere, because I think people find it hard to believe that if I wasn't speaking to you of a day, I would literally be speaking to no one. You know, life is what's happening right now. You know, in amongst all of this surveying of this battlefield that's been my life in the last few years, there are little things that I catch out of the corner of my eye, so to speak. You know, and I'm talking to my daughter, and less and less, unless she's tired or she's feeling a little bit sad and emotional. I'm dad now, not daddy. You know, and just these things, you can see life evolving all around me while I'm sort of blissfully unaware and caught up in a nightmare that I need to bid farewell to. Don't need to pretend it's not there. I need to get over it, and I need to get on with my life, you know. But you know, it's a strange one. You know, there's something that Meg, my ex-partner, said to me once. She just sat up while she was breastfeeding, and she looked at me and said, you know, there'll be one day where you and I, it'll be the last time we ever pick our daughter up. You know, there's a time where you do it for the very last time, you know, as a child. Isn't that a funny thought? And you know, I find it very difficult, the amount of time that's and experiences that are being consumed. I'm just so aware of wanting to quote Freddie Mercury again, I want to savour every mouthful, and I want to treasure every moment, because time's moving along, and it's moving along damn quick, and there's people who are special to me who aren't going to be around really that much longer, and I want to make the most of it all. I don't want to leave a stone unturned with regards to trying to find not a new me, but a me that functions, a me that doesn't try to crawl away from the simplest of obligations through fear and paranoia, I want that person who used to be able to make people laugh without caring what kind of impact it had upon my reputation. I want to get. It's an interesting Freudian slip. I want a bit of that guy back in my life, you know. I used to be good company. I used to be good to be around. If it was on a good day, you know. I want a bit of it back, and you know, I'm very aware of my life ticking away around me, from daddy to dad, you know. It's a heavy one, it really is. For all of us, life isn't that rainy day. You know, you imagine people looking at that pot of gold that you kept for the rainy day on the first day that they're mourning your death. It just is not worth it. This is not a dress rehearsal. This really is my life. It's a part of it that I'm travelling through, that is a time where there is a mortally deep feeling wound inside of me, and I'm trying to fight it. And you know, but this is my life, and it's how I'm living, and it's how I'm living now. You know, it's there's no point pretending that there is any crock of gold worth putting to one side, or life is something that's going to get better and become life in the future. You know, what's happening to me right now, this is my life. This is all there is, and there ain't no more, you know. And I just want to reclaim what at times could be a really nice guy, you know, with zero irony, right here, right now. This is living, this is our life, you know, it's my life, your life. In the H.E. Bates 1990 adaptation of The Darling Buds of May, there is a moment at the end of the first act where Charlie realises he's not going to go back to his job. He's been renamed, he's been reborn, essentially. And there's a moment where he says, no, I can't go back, not after all this. And it cuts to the beauty of the countryside around him. And he says to his, the object of his desire and this partnership that's blooming, he looks at her and says, yes, I'm coming with you tomorrow, yes. And the camera pans back, and it's just him shouting at the top of his voice, yes, yes. And it is just so beautiful, that adaptation, that representation of what it's like to have those moments in life where we have all echoed into the infinite with our happiness and joy. You know, it's a wonderful thing. And it's funny to think back that my voice is amongst those now long dead sounds in the infinite, screaming yes, or whatever version of it was, at the times in my life where nothing but joy prevailed, you know. I don't think there's ever been a more perfect adaptation of a complete seduction and rebirth in a benign, in the proper way, than Cedric Charlton in The Darling Buds of May. If you haven't read it, read it. It's beautiful, it's simple, and it's very easygoing. But watch the 1990s adaptation. It's here on YouTube, The Darling Buds of May. Read the book. It's just beautiful. The total seduction and rebirth of Cedric Charlton within the first minutes of going to harass the people on this farm for their taxes that they haven't paid. We've all had one of those days in our life. It goes back to the beautiful voices in the infinite, you know, the little old men and women that we see on their own, just wandering up and down the street, as I do every day here, as you do every day there. Those people whose voices and their joy and their ecstasies and their agony, all of it is resonating in that infinite. It's all together. And you know, life just is what it is. We all have the same ups and we all have the same downs. Most of us leave this life understanding what love feels like, even if it's only giving. And of course I mean in the sense of finding the love of another past a certain point in your life, not the love of your family. Falling in love is a completely different thing. And if in your lifetime you've been lucky enough to fall in love and be loved by that person, you are truly blessed. There are so many connections that self-help gurus will say they can help you with. Improve your relationship, improve your sex life, God knows what else. There's no self-help book for helping people join that infinite choir that's out there singing all of our praise and joy that we've had over the years. You either have it or you don't. It's just magic that visits you at random points, just like tragedy, the lightning strike of tragedy. And yeah, it is just funny to think that all of us, probably 99% of us, are all contributors to that chorus of joy, the yes, yes, yes of Cedric Charlton at the end of The Darling Buds of May.